Mean people of Reddit. Why? I'm not mean, but I used to be. I was abused severely all throughout my childhood and bullied at school. Mom told me I'd die alone because nobody could ever possibly love me and would let my stepdad hit me. So I turned my sadness into anger. I'm not saying it was right, but after getting thrown to the pavement and hit with a shovel by your stepdad, you kinda stop caring about other people's feelings. In my eyes, no one cared enough to stop it. So why should I care about their feelings? I grew put to that mindest once I left home. Actually pretty proud of how much my personality changed. I'm only mean from time to time on the internet because I work in a position where I have to be nice to every asshole that walks through the door. Every pervert wanting to ask disgusting things of our employees. Every parent that feels they're little to me is the only kid looking for a specific item. And I'm not doing my job by demanding we order more. When I come to the internet and someone says something stupid, I'm gonna let them know. Too long didn't read hurt people hurt people. Despite the lack of a serious tag, I'll be honest, I never decided one day to be a mean and angry man. I became one over time as the result of years of abuse, exploitation, and mistreatment. It started with my parents who were ill-suited to raise children. I can still hear my mother screaming my name sometimes. I came from a poor family and was an easy target for kids at school. I got beat up a lot because I was such an easy target, and children are monsters. Being introverted didn't help me any. In adulthood, I tried to move past the bad memories and harsh feelings, but I've been stepped on and taken advantage of by people who I thought were friends, but who saw me as a chump. I don't care anymore. I want nothing to do with anyone in the world, only to be left alone. When someone violates my sense of peace, I don't hold back when I tell them to duck off. My son, when he was a toddler, asked me why a particular person was mean. I told him it was probably because someone was mean to that person. Then I explained that my dad used to be mean to me, and that I used to be mean. He pondered it for a moment and then said, "But you're not mean to me, daddy." I welled up and started crying right there. My grandfather on both sides of the family were abusive towards their children and wives. I can safely say that my parents did a 180 with their parenting style. It's great to think how your grandchildren will be raised by your son now. Anyone who is truly mean isn't capable of providing an honestly self-reflective answer to this that is meaningful. Bullshit. I can't. All I've done for the last few years is reflect on myself and how I became such a cold, relentless son of a bitch. I've come up with a few contributing factors, but the main one is that I simply do not give a single solitary duck. Why? Because if I did, I'd be wasting my time. Unfortunately, I'm not a ducking idiot. I recognize that my place in this world is effectively irrelevant. If I died tomorrow, nothing would change. There are maybe 5 people who truly give a duck, and they'll all get over it pretty quickly. I'm replaceable. I'm not intelligent enough to contribute to STEM fields or make a meaningful career, and I'm never going to be anybody. I'm just a face in the crowd, and I'm okay with that. Why would I stress myself out and work my ass off to make something of a middle class, forgettable life that won't make an impact on the world or be remembered by history? At the end of the day, we are a rock in a field of other rocks, and eventually, those rocks will weather away, long after the people who knew me passed. And then what? I'll tell you what then. I'm just a remnant of the past, forgotten by the future. But the thing is, I'm okay with that. I've accepted my place. I have nothing and no one to lose, and there isn't a single thing I have a good reason to care about anymore. If I have a heart attack tomorrow, so ducking be it. The sooner, the better as far as I'm concerned. I've looked deeply at the world, and I'm simply not interested in being a part of it. It's full of horrors and heartache, and I'd simply rather exist and die than struggle and thrive with that kind of mindset. It is really ducking difficult to give a flying duck what anybody thinks or how they feel. I say what I want and duck you all because I didn't choose to be here, and I have no interest in continuing to be. I've got nothing to lose and no ducks to give, so the gloves come off whenever I feel like it. It's not right. It's not good. And I don't care. I'm honestly pissed off that some asshole got horny and made me exist in the first goddamned place. Online. It's less the anonymity so much as the lack of accountability. If someone has a bad day at work, they can't just express that in the moment all the time, because they likely need to continue being employed. They would rather not take it out on their family and friends, and so boom. Reddit becomes an outlet for pent-up frustrations. Couple that with a Wild West sort of mentality, echo chambers and internet call points for outrage, and you have the comment section of 98% of all Reddit posts. There comes a point where one realizes that not one person in their life has ever loved them, and that nothing they wanted out of life will ever be theirs, because literally everything you look forward to is fake and pointless. In the words of Frankenstein's creation, there was none among the myriads of men who existed who would pity or assist me, and should I feel kindness towards my enemies? No, from that moment I declared everlasting war against the species, and, more than all, against him who had formed me and sent me forth to this insupportable misery. I don't intend to be mean, but when I type out my thoughts they come off as mean. For example, fat people are not beautiful and healthy, and we should not normalize it. I believe it is dangerous for society. Sometimes you have to work 3 jobs. If you are poor, understand you are not the first or last to do that. The hungry and successful will do that anyway. You want your countrymen's taxes to pay for your shit. What have you given to your fellow countrymen? If you have government health insurance, a colostomy bag, and continue to eat junk trash food, you are a drain on society. Same for smoking. I believe these are truths. I'm apathetic to feeling when truth is involved. Dude, browsing through the comments, an awful lot of people saying that they are adults in here. You're all able to identify abuses and traumas done to you when you had no ability to defend yourselves or leave the situations. That's cool. Self-awareness is awesome. But if you are an adult and you can identify the reasons for your personality flaws and you do nothing about it except use the anonymity of the internet to be cruel to strangers for no reason, you're inflicting trauma on people just like people did to you. You're not just mean people, you're actually abusers. You can only be so mean to yourself before it stops being effective. And sometimes I gotta just vent the anger outwardly instead of using it to fuel me like an internal nuclear reactor. Nobody can actually make you angry except yourself. In that you ultimately choose how you take things. I know this. So I know my reasoning is poor, but I'm working on it. I have low self-esteem, but I also have no self-awareness of that, so I don't realize I'm perfect, so there is no need for self-development. Only weak losers have mental health issues. I get pleasure from being mean, because for a moment at least I can feel superior than someone else. I'm powerless, but get to affect someone in a negative way. It's their own fault. If I didn't feel better than other people, then I'd have to deal with my own mediocrity and unfulfilling life instead. Maybe even blame myself for my problems instead of other people. My network of real and virtual friends tells me comforting lies and reassures me nothing is my fault. The truth hurts, so I deny it. When people in my network have a victory, like being really mean to people, it's also my victory. When people are mean to me though, I will be very mad because they are not treating me with the respect I deserve and are pretending I'm not superior to them. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing for more videos.